Hi everyone, today we talk about mathematics IDC. So let us start. Here is mathematics, okay. So now we talk about mathematics, okay. There's nothing important. Let us go further here. Okay, now mathematics is the second edition. This is from 2019 go above. That okay? That is important to know. We will wait a while until it will. So here we have how many chapters? Here we have 24 chapters. Do you know? Don't know. As I said, it's 24 chapters. So here let us go. And we need to share a screen of whiteboard. Here, mathematics. So now we have in mathematics 24 chapters. Okay, so when I told you about 24 chapters, now we need to know what are these chapters. Some will be hard, some will be easy. So let's start with that. First, you have chapter. 1 minute. You have chapter. The first unit has 4 chapters. The second unit, it has 6 units. Each unit has 4 chapters. Okay. First chapter, it is about reviewing number concepts. Then making sense of algebra. It is important to know that. Then chapter 3, where you, chapter 3. Then we have chapter 4, or some will not be taught after each other. We see the important things in each chapter which should be taught before the other. Okay? That is about the or. First 4. Then about the next 4 will also chapter 5 about fractions is what talk about don't forget in IGC we use calculators. Chapter 6 equation and rearranging formulas. Then chapter 7 perimeter area and volume. But we do the extended part, not the core. But so we need to know the extended and the core, each the two other two. We can take question from the core, but we will take all the question, the important question from the extended part. So important to know. Because we see that the extended part have marks more than the core. Extended has C. Core, I mean, their mark is C. I am sorry for that. Core had the mark of C only. Mean the average you get C, but extended on anyone C or above C by the marks go up to A plus. That is all. Now we clear all the drawings. In the unit 3, we talk about 4 chapters. Here, the first N1 in the first time. So we talk about chapter 9 sequences and sets, and chapter 10 straight line quadratic equation, chapter 11 figure theorem and similar shapes. Then he would complete the chapter 11, start with chapter 12, which may be harder. Okay, we will have an examination for the first 3 units, so it is important. Okay, now we go about to see the 4th unit, which will be harder. As you know, everything when you start with it will be easy, then it will start to be harder. It's important to know that. Chapter 14 or chapter 13, I'm sorry for that, done understanding measurement. Chapter 14 would be like chapter 10. So we take chapter 10, then chapter 14 quickly after each other. So firstly, you need to take chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 5, chapter 6, chapter 10, chapter 14, then go to chapter 1 and 13. We talk about it now, no problem. But first you see the chapters, okay? Chapter 15, there will be a new thing. We talk about trigonometry, sin, cons, and tanks, scale drawing, bearing, and other. And also we have the curvature diagram and the calculation. If there is any problem with the boxes, I'm sorry for that. As you know, somehow hard. Here we have in unit 10 and unit 5, I'm sorry for that, we have 4 chapters. Okay, it's important. Managing money, curved graph, which we have quadratic graph, solve quadratic equation to use graphs, solve simultaneous linear and non-linear equation, other non-linear graphs, find the gradient of the curve, derivative functions. Somehow this will be hard. When we talk about symmetry, histogram and frequency distribution diagrams, then we go talk about the last unit, which has somehow something that is hard. Do you know that I see the last unit of any book harder than any unit in the or any chapter? In the last 4 or last 3 to be harder than any chapters in the rest of the book. Book maybe there is 1-2 chapters harder, but there in the 23-24 there would be harder so much. But no problem for us for now, as we will not consider them for now. But now we will go considering the first unit, first chapter. reviewing number concept. Okay, now let us start with that. Hope you will understand what we talk about today. We talk about a small thing for today, a very small thing for today only. I hope that. Now we have some keywords. Important to review. Now, the first chapter, reviewing number concept. So here we have some keyword that we need. Firstly, natural numbers, integers, prime numbers, symbol, multiple factor. What are the composite numbers? The prime factor, square, square roots, cube, directed numbers, BODMAS, and there is another keyword, but not for me. That is an important keyword. Okay. In the chapter, we need to know this. Define, classify different types of numbers, find combinators and multiples of number, like number as a product of the prime factors, also calculate square, square roots, cube and cube root of numbers, work with integer used in real life situation, review the basic rules for operating with numbers. It is very important, perform basic calculation, think mental method, and with a calculator. How can you make it mental and how you can use calculator? Okay, now let us start. You should already be familiar with most of the concepts in this chapter. This chapter will help you to review and the concepts and remember them. Firstly, here we need a whiteboard. Why? I'll tell you now. 1 minute. But first, let us see why we need a whiteboard. And first, let us read, let's understand, let's know everything. Okay? Firstly, for all, we will go with integers. Okay? After that, you go with natural numbers. Integers mean any of the negative positive numbers, whole numbers, including zero. Mean if someone said negative 0.5, is it an integer? Very fast you put no, noob. It is a fraction, okay? Prime numbers. How I know this number is prime? First, let us raise what here. Now, natural numbers. As we said, integers. So part of an integer is a natural number or a whole number. number and it is complete. Don't forget about that. Okay, so integers say about positive and negative numbers, okay, including the zero. Here, it is also including the zero. Or in natural numbers, any whole number from 1 to infinity, but excepting if you include any zero in it, it is wrong. Okay? Odd numbers, you know that cannot be divided by 2. I mean, if I divide 3 by 2, 3, for example, now I put it in my whiteboard so you can understand. Okay, or 1 minute. I have another way. Let us clear all the drawing here. All now a box, but I need it like that. Black here. Okay, now I have the white here. It's tau now here. Okay, as I say that there are natural numbers. So integer kind integer natural number is a kind of integers. Okay, so integer is, let's start. Integers. So integers here positive, as I need space, so I will put like that, and negative with including zero. So natural numbers of here is the positive numbers positive numbers, all positive numbers mean from 1 to infinity. Here so it will not be equal or equal to 0. Natural numbers don't so the 1 minute, I'll answer for that. Here, so the natural number, as you know, so the doesn't do not natural number doesn't include 0. So the natural numbers doesn't include 0. That's right now. I'll answer for that. Zero. So now here integers are positive and the negative numbers. Mean if I put -2, it's an integer. Very fast, I know it is an integer. But they tell me to classify integer and natural numbers. If it is -2, it is not a natural number. So here, no. Here, yeah. Okay. But if they put to me 0, add -2. Integers, they are integers, not natural numbers. But if it is 2, 1, and any number infinity from 1 to infinity for a million, they put to me a million is an integer and a natural number. But if they put to me -million, it is not it is an integer but not a natural number. I hope that you understand that. Now oh, okay, let us. So we discuss here the natural number and the integer. Okay. So now we will need to discuss all the numbers, even numbers, prime numbers, square numbers, fraction, which will be the last thing for what we discussed today. Tell you. In the next lesson, on today, we solve some question, but not all. Okay. Today we solve some. Okay. And now clear all. Let us put here. Here now. I want to write with red. Sorry for that. I think maybe be long, but we need to finish everything. We solve them in the another sessions will be less. The time will be less. Today we discuss one idea in this lesson. This idea we need to understand. It's important. Now we have odd I'll write with abbreviation. Okay, as I need time and I need space. Odd numbers, let's say that it is 8, okay? When I divide 8 at 2, when an odd number at 2 doesn't give me an exact number or a whole number. Give me a decimal. Give me a decimal. So if I divide 3 at 2, for example, what it will give me? 1.5, okay? So 1.5 is an odd number. When I divide 3 at 2, I get a decimal. When I get a decimal or a fraction, for example, so 1.5 is a fraction, 3 at 2 is 1.5, it's a fraction. So when I get a fraction, it is odd number. The number that I divide with 2, not with a 3. When I get 3 over 3, 1, it is an odd number, no. So when I divide a number with 2, 2 is the rule, mean 8 at 2, give me a decimal, it is an odd number. But when I divide 8 at 2 and give me a whole number, here, when I get a whole number, I know that it is an even. So here, when I know that it is, give me a whole number, I know that it is an even. Okay, so I know now what is the difference between an odd and even number. An odd number is a number when I divided with 2 with a decimal number, a fraction. To a 2, it is a fraction. When I divide a fraction, what is it give me? A decimal. So any number divided by 2 give me a decimal. It is an odd number. Decimal is important. A fraction that is not exactly divided by 2. Okay. But when I divide a whole number and give me, when I divide a whole number, mean A is a number, divided by 2. Let me give an example about only 1 minute. Give me a whole number. So here now, when I divide when I divide 6 at 2, what do you say the whole number is, or an integer? What is the whole number or a natural number? It is a number that gets positive with 0 to the whole number, okay? But a natural number is a number that gives us a number, but it is one from 1 to infinity, okay? So 3 will not be always with that, okay? Not always, but when an even number, I mean not also always that it will be a decimal number, but oh yeah, I am sorry, when I divide an even number or an odd number. An odd number, when I divide it with 2, will give me a not exact number. But when I divide an even number with 2, will give me an exact whole number. Only that. And it will raise it. So I will do like that. Okay. Now we will talk about square prime numbers. Okay, prime number and square number. Prime number will not take from us so much time. Prime numbers are easy to take it so much. Prime number. Okay. Now, the prime number is a number that it is factors. The number itself so it is the number itself, so it is important. The number oh, here it is. And 1, okay? So, and prime number, when I say a prime number, it is the number itself and 1. There's another thing that is combined number. Base numbers, it is mean it is the number itself and 1, another factors like 4, for example. 1, okay. So 2, for example, 4. Okay, so any number that has 3 factors or more, what we call that? We call it a complex number. That is all. 8, 1, 2, 4, 8, 4. 3, 1 and 3 is 2. So factors, a number that has 2 factors, mean at the number 1, this is called prime number. Okay, so do you know too that it's the only prime number that is, it is the only even number that it is prime. All even numbers are complex numbers. Odd numbers, not all, but the most of the odd numbers are prime numbers. Okay, now we talk about square numbers. Okay, so now square so now when I multiply 1 by itself, what I got, okay, now when I multiply 1 by 1, what I got, 1. So the number I got it here, the square number. For example, 2 times 2. 2. Equal 4. So now the 4 is a square number. That is all. I mean, a number that is multiplied by itself, it is a square number. Or in another word, we can write it like that, and there's a square above it. It is a square number. But when we write a number, it's like that, it is a cube number. So we need to multiply it 3 times. This is another way that we can write the square number. This is another way. It is the same input. Times 2. So now when I multiply 2 times 2, it is 4. Okay. Now 4 times 2, it is 8. Okay, it is 8. That is all. This is called That is called as cube number. Okay, now we have something that we need to consider about. So here, if you want, you can solve the questions by yourself. But in the next session, we will solve the question. But first, we need to talk about. So in the next session, we solve the questions, but we need to talk about now about fractions. After I finish this lesson, we will solve some igcse questions. Okay. Now, when fractions 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 a number like a fraction is a number that can be divided or can be converted to a decimal or some no problem. Here it can be converted. But for example, four, I get here 4, 8 divided by 2 equal to 4. See, now it's not a decimal number, it is a whole number or a natural number. So no problem. In two ways, it can give you a fraction. Important thing, now we need to see that a number presenting part of a whole number. So here the part in a form A at B. So the form that they use A B is important, or as a decimal using the decimal point. So here, as I say to you, half it is equal to 2.5. That is it. Or for example, I got 2. For example, 2 and 1. How many? It's 2. It is a part. It is a whole number. So the same thing is that only here. But you see the question tell you which is some easy and some is hard. Now let us go back. No problem. Let us complete. Let us finish what we want to see. Me, for example, here in the first question, natural numbers is what are what? So numbers from we will answer this here. They are those 25. Okay, in even numbers are these two and this 16.6. Okay, so it's 4 and 6 and like that. 1 minute. See that in numbers are number like that. Odd numbers, so easy. 3. 25. Integers. What are integers? These two from 3 to 25. Do you understand how to solve? Now, negative integers. Now, I want a negative integer. Okay, so here we talk about the integer. These are a negative integer. That's all. Fractions. Around 0.175. Square numbers. Let us write it. 4, 6, 16. Now, when I talk a prime number, but a prime number, I talk about 3. Now, I thought the prime number can be on odd. 25 is another prime number. The factors 1, 5, 25. It's easy. 1, 5, and 25. It's easy. Neither square nor prime. I think this half. You want to know the answer? Let's go. Page. That's the book. There are some answers. Or if you want to know the correct answer, you can see it here. So neither prime, neither square. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Except for that and these. Now let us go back as I make some fun video. So in when they say it, they say that it's negative 4, negative 1, 0, half, 0.75, 6. Okay, that is all. If you want to know, go back here to there, book 643, for example. All about. If we want to know the correct answer, okay, here it is. As you say, 3. Now, as I said, we talk about that. Okay. Here we finish about the first item in this lesson, which is about the different types of numbers. Then we will list. Then we will get answering the other question. We will answer maybe 2, 3 questions from each one. Those for like that, we start using symbols, string numbers like 1945, how we can make it. We start multiplying factors by multiple, then we know the meaning by multiple. We list, we do, then we know the lowest common multiple and the highest, the factors, everything we try to know. Okay, for now, we will tell you. Firstly, before we end the session, we want to remember you to subscribe to my channel and put like. Thank you for watching. and goodbye.